Hello, in this video we will discuss about the gastrulation and neurulation. So in the end of the video we will discuss embryonic folding in 4th week. So this is a gastrulation 3rd week we will discuss here. It means the 14 days involved. So after the 14 days the process will begin is known as the gastrulation. Gastrulation means the 3 germinal layers will be formed after the blastocyst through blastula formation to produce the gastrula. So this is the when bind with the hair is endometrium in the placenta in the uterine wall, and this is the bilaminar embryonic disc are present. This bilaminar embryonic disc, which that is made up of hypoblast and epiblast, is here. And epiblast contain a blastocele cavities chamber-like, while the yolk sac is also chamber-like in the form of the precursor of endoderm, while the blastocele containing chamber is the precursor of ectoderm, for example skin. So let's begin to understand the process, and we will look at the cross section via a lateral cross section and the sagittal cross section. So this is the after 3rd week is the development of the gastrulation will begin from here. This is the primitive node formation will be occur, and the cranium and head region, the cranial and caudal region will be occur. Not here is the down is the head, but is the basically is the front is the head. So in this way, this is the basically primitive pit will be formed after the 15 days, and this is the basically the sagittal view, which that is showing the right and left side of the embryo. This is a primitive streak formation, and cranium and caudal, the tail and head will be formed. So after this, the invagination will begin during the 3rd week. In this way, the invagination of the ectoderm, the blastocele containing ectoderm, or basically is the epiblast. This epiblast will be invaginate inside to form a groove. This groove is known as the primitive groove, contain a primitive node, and in this way the cell will be differentiate and modify to enter, and in this way the modification of endoderm, also the hypoblast, will be formed to create the space for movement of the mesoderm inside to form a gastrulation. That means the mesoderm, ectoderm and endoderm, 3 germinal layers will be formed. So this is the cranial side, and the spinal cord is the side, the caudal side will be formed, and this is the notochord. So let's begin to understand from the neurulation. So the neurulation is basically the end of the 3rd week, 21st days. So in this way, the basically is the neurulation formation will be occur after the gastrulation. So the gastrulation means the 3 germinal layers, while the neurulation means the nervous system will be developed. This is the precursor of peripheral and central nervous system. Let's begin to understand. This is the basically the upper dorsal view of the embryo, which that is contain a brain, and this is developing the brain and spinal cord. And let's begin to understand the cross section of this embryo in the stage of 3rd week, 21st week day. So in this way here you can see this is the lateral mesoderm and medial mesoderm will be formed, while the notochord is also the production due to the result of invagination of the mesoderm formation. So in this way here is the blastocele formation, this is the amniotic sac, and this is the yolk sac, and this is the endoderm. This endoderm is covered via a yolk sac, and this endoderm is the precursor of the allantois. This is the placental layer. So in this is the where in this way here is the endoderm will be formed, and this mesoderm differentiation will lead to enter the mesoderm, the differentiation of the mesoderm to form a body cavity. and in this way here the neural crust will be formed. This neural crust will be formed, so let's begin to understand. First you should need to understand the neural crust will be formed uh, to form a neural tube. This neural tube will be head to tail the move, and in this way the neural tube will also the contain a node, the Hansen's node, and in this way here is the precursor of central nervous system will be formed, and this is basically the notochord will be formed precursor, which that is developed from the mesoderm, the specialized mesoderm. A neural crust will be separate the neural tube as well as the blastocele cavity, ectoderm. So after this the ectoderm will cover the whole body due to the skin formation, because the ectoderm is involving the skin, the sebaceous gland, hairs, and other glands. So this is the neural crust will be enter, and after this neural crust is the precursor of the peripheral nervous system, while the neural tube is the central nervous system. So remember about that. And cell of the crust neural fold is detached due to the neural crust. After this, the neurulation will be clear, and in this way, the brain will be developed, and the neuropore will be developed. The head region of the neuropore and caudal region of the neuropore will develop, and the head of the neuropore of the embryo will develop the brain, while the caudal region will produce the spinal cord. So this is a somatite formation. Somatite is basically the endomesoderm and the lateral mesoderm or ectomesoderm. You can understand. Basically, I am again explaining about that, the formation of the somatite to endomesoderm and ectomesoderm. Endomesoderm involve the heart and and the liver, etc., etc., while the ectomesoderm involve for the muscle. So in this way, the yolk sac will be separated through endoderm, and in this way, the digestive system will be produced through endoderm. While here I am again drawing the cross section for understanding after the dispersion of ectomesoderm and endomesoderm with the somite, and in this way here is you can understand the blastocele cavity will be formed. After this here you can see this is the neural tube will be formed, which that is basically is contain a precursor of the nervous system. This is the central nervous system, while this is the endoderm, and this endoderm is involving for the which that is surrounded by and form a digestive tract, while this is the neural plate, which that is the neural plate is used for the basically the neural plate for the infolding, and the notochord is basically used for the vertebral column, while the endoderm and coelom is present the body cavity. So let's begin to understand the embryonic folding in fourth week. After the third week, the fourth week will begin to embryonic folding. So here is I'm drawing. Here is umbilical cord is the allantois yolk sac. This is the primitive umbilical cord will be formed. While here the amniotic sac is the basically ectoderm cover, and the ectoderm is also dispersed throughout the body of the embryo, and the ectoderm is formed here, black color, and this is the body cavity and coelom, and mesoderm will be formed. This mesoderm is surrounded via a body cavity is known as the coelom, while the allantois yolk sac and primitive umbilical cord is used for the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange through fetal circulation to the mother circulation. So anyhow, this is basically is the upper dorsal view of the basically the embryonic fold horizontal plane we will discuss first, and this is the basically is the mesoderm, which that is the sagittal cross section of the embryo, showing the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm and yolk sac. So you can understand I am labeling this diagram to understand, and this is going to begin the enfolding head and tail. This head and tail will be folded, and this that is why the embryo will fold the head to tail folding, which that is between the center of gravity of the person, between the umbilical cord. So in this way, here is the embryonic fold is basically is the horizontal plane we will understand. In this way you can understand this is the head and tail folding, which that will lead to x-axis and y-axis you can understand as well. while the medial plane, that was the medial plane means the left and right part of the lateral part of the bilateria, which that is a human being, which that is curved, and in this way the infolding will lead to basically is to form a rolling, and in this way here is the head and tail formation. So that was the gastrulation and neurulation between the third week and fourth week. So thanks.